So next up would be the quickest way to learn Japanese. Well, first off, depending on what language you know, like for example, if you know Korean already, Korean and Japanese have the same grammar, so it's actually pretty easy or easier to pick up Japanese since you know basic Korean and the grammar. As for those people that speak English, English and Japanese have opposite grammar, so it's harder usually when thinking about what to say in Japanese because what we say in English is probably opposite that. Um, for me, there's probably two things to probably studying any kind of language. One would be looking at vocabulary. Vocabulary is very big and broad, and it takes a long time to actually remember a lot of different vocabulary and to master vocabulary. But the more vocabulary you learn and the more vocabulary that you study, you'll be able to pick up more when you are listening to others' conversations, and you'll actually be able to talk more when you're in that type of meeting area. The second would be just speaking. I mean, for all languages, usually when we like read a book, we usually just read without talking. But if we don't talk, then we never improve our speaking. So one of the best ways to actually improve our speaking is to speak even when we're reading. But if you have Japanese friends or you know other people that are trying to learn Japanese, it's probably good to speak to each other. It helps if you're actually talking than just to just read. Usually when I'm on the train, I usually always see people probably studying, if they're not playing games and so forth. So everyone realizes that vocabulary is one of the key instruments in learning a language. So I think it's very beneficial if you spend at least a few hours a day studying vocabulary, and when you can, maybe hanging out with friends and speaking, because that's the only way you'll actually be able to improve your Japanese. Other ways that people look into would probably be like reading manga. A lot of people read manga to improve their vocabulary because while they're reading, they have to probably look up the vocabulary itself, and they actually learn new vocabulary and maybe sentence structures, so grammar and so forth. Another would probably be watching dramas. A lot of people watch dramas every day, and I've heard a lot of people improve their English from dramas and even animes. Watch animes and dramas all the time, and they've improved their Japanese a lot just by watching. The only probably non-benefit to watching maybe just anime to improve your Japanese would be that you won't really learn any polite Japanese, or maybe just a few words here and there. And if you plan to work in Japan in the future, it's probably beneficial to learn polite Japanese. If you're not, it's probably considered rude to most people, and it won't help you get a job if you plan to work here in the future. So, if anything, I would, at least on the side, probably study some polite Japanese or take some classes. If you're in Japan, there's a lot of classes for just business that you can take. And even Japanese students themselves have to take business speaking classes in university so they can get a job. So even Japanese people, it takes them some time to learn polite speech and so forth. So anybody can do it. So if there's anything else you would like to know about learning Japanese or about anything else about Japan, you can always give me a message or leave a comment, and I'll try to answer what I can or find out what I can to help you. Thanks again, and see you next time. Bye.